Good morning to you once again, everyone. I am so honored to be here again this year at the Southeast Georgia Leadership Forum. This is very special to me because of all that you do in our community. As we all know, Southeast Georgia Leadership Forum was created to bring established and emerging leaders together. And this is all about innovative environments, making sure that you're able to promote leadership development, networking, and collaborative teamwork right here in our region. And this morning, everyone, the recipient we are about to honor is an incredible, true servant here in Savannah, Georgia. She's a leader. She's a role model. She has worked tirelessly and done some amazing things, not only here in Savannah, I might say, but throughout the state of Georgia. She's the former mayor of Savannah. She's now a state representative in Georgia. And she is just an incredible person. She has worked to make a difference. And she's done that because so many people helped her along the way. Today, we present the 2024 Legacy Leadership Award to the Honorable Edna Jackson.
I'm Edna Branch Jackson. I was born and raised here in the city of Savannah, Georgia. I grew up in a house that had no indoor plumbing. Our toilet was in the backyard, but we didn't know we were poor. The only thing that was most important in those days was that you received an education. So you had a whole community working on your behalf to train you that you are going to be somebody. And we were constantly told that. So my life was filled with teachers and church members and people throughout that said to me, you're going to be somebody. And that's how I grew up in the city of Savannah.
Edna Jackson is one of those living, breathing monuments. She is the bridge. And we're losing those bridges. Edna Jackson remembers a time when we couldn't go everywhere we wanted to go in Savannah. She remembers a time when having a mayor of color was really a fantasy. She remembers a time when you couldn't go down to Tybee Beach and wade where you wanted to, and she was arrested for that. A lot of communities across the Southeast, Edna Jackson went as a teenager to be able to help them to be able to get their Civil Rights Act together. And I think when people see her, they don't really recognize really the depth of that ocean that we call Edna Jackson.
See, it's about Savannah. It's about Chatham County. It is about the state of Georgia. And you have to look at the total picture to see how you can bring it all together.
I don't sit in this chair if Edna Jackson wasn't doing what Edna Jackson did as a teenager. I don't sit in this chair if Edna Jackson didn't help to mentor and love on and feed me a whole lot, during our years of association together.
We have been together through Savannah State University. We attend the same church. We are sorority sisters in Delta Sigma Theta sorority, and just wonderful friends. We developed a friendship at Savannah State, and there was a third person, Juanita Adams. And after a while, we were dubbed the Three Amigos because it got to the point where we had such a relationship and such a partnership, and everybody knew if you wanted to get something done, you get one of the three. And if you get one, then two others will come in. Being around her to see how courageous she has been in her life and the sacrifices that she has made for people through her work in civil rights and, traveling throughout the Southeast in the 60s. And I think about that, but she is a living testament to what it takes and the kind of involvement to be a servant leader. She is not so concerned about herself. She loves to do what she can for other people.
Edna Jackson is deserving of this recognition because she is someone who walked the walk. I mean, oftentimes we will award people to the sake of awarding them. I mean, this lady has a track record that is literally unparalleled in this community. She has touched the lives of so many people. She helped candidates get elected. Then she was a candidate that got elected herself. She served as our 65th mayor and now serves in the Georgia House of Representatives at almost 80 years old. Again, her life is a life of service. It's a life of sacrifice, and yet she still is just as approachable, just as earthy, just as kind. Hey, baby.
You can change your life if you've never reached the goal that you wanted to reach. Have I reached all of my goals? I don't know. I thought I had, until all of a sudden, here is somebody saying, Edna, you need to run for this. I thought I'd run for everything. I was on city council. Then I was the mayor of the city, and now I'm serving in the legislature. And the reason being because others, again, are watching you. Well, you would think, I thought I was going to sit there and watch The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful for the rest of my life.
So that's just Edna. Edna wants to serve. Edna loves to serve. Edna's not selfish, but she's very, very courageous. And when she loves somebody or something or some movement or anything that's going to be beneficial to this city, she's going to do it. Edna Branch Jackson is a servant leader who is leaving a legacy, not only in this city and in this state, but in this country, and I believe in the world, because of the kind of life that she lives. So this is one of the most befitting kinds of acknowledgments that can be bestowed upon her.
I've had the opportunity to travel around the world with Edna. So we've been to Ghana together most recently. I remember some years ago we went as a part of a medical mission. But the funniest part about it was that my role on this trip, as I found out, is really to power lift all Edna's luggage because she's going to buy everything for everybody. She don't know people. They well, I can get something for them. And so she goes there, and so Edna Jackson increases the GDP of African nations just because she's there. And so we were in one of the villages. The people can't speak English, but by the time they leave, they're Edna, Edna, Edna. I mean, they made her a queen there. They dressed her in the middle of a field. Edna is a cheerleader on everybody's parade. She is literally a biggest supporter in the stands for so many people. And we are so blessed, Edna Jackson, to finally cheer for you. You are so deserving. We love you. I adore you. And I am so glad that you're getting the roses that you deserve. Love you, Edna Branch Jackson.
Never would I have thought that I would get this kind of recognition. And I just want to say I'm thankful, I'm humbled, and I hope that by giving me this, others will see steps that they can take and go, and they can reach and be whatever they want to be.
Congratulations, Edna Branch Jackson.
Thank you, Tina. You know, I'm never without words. The first thing that I have to say is thank you. Thank you so much for this wonderful honor. Where's Mike? You know, I have a habit of just saying, where is this person and where is that person? And, you know, when you're talking about giving back to our community, it's not me, it's you. You know, you're the ones that are giving back to, but you do it unconditionally. And that is what is so important. As I listened to the previous presenter, you know, I thought about my childhood. Y'all know where Gwinnett and West Broad Street is? All right, well, I grew up before the public housing. I grew up in a house. I was reared by my grandmother who sent my mama to Tampa, Florida to find a job because she was a cook. And my sister and I were supposed to move to Tampa, Florida. It didn't happen, y'all. When my mother said that she was ready for us to come, my grandmama said, no, you leave these girls here. Just send some money, because we were never on public assistance. Send some money to help take care of them. Every 2 weeks, my mother did that. Back in those days, you could send it through the mail. But during my lifestyle, I was not the perfect child. My sister was. She read all the books. But I was one that wanted to be out there, and I had teachers from first grade on that would always tell me, you're going to be somebody. And I think it was because of, in my neighborhood, which was mixed income, you had teachers and everyone correcting you all of the time. And I used to get tired of that. But that's okay. But there were people at Florence Elementary School that liked the way I talked. So I had to learn all of the poems and, you know, be the presenter, introducing people when they stepped in the classroom. And, you know, you get tired of it, particularly when I was a fourth grader. I'll never forget Mrs. Rainey gave me a poem to learn. And the day that I went to the school, I told her I didn't know it. And I lied. By the time I got home, Sadie Branch said, that was my grandmother, said to me, so you didn't say your poem. I said, no, ma'am, because back then you say yes, ma'am, and no, sir. I said, no, ma'am, I wasn't going to lie. So I had to get my own switch off the Chinaberry tree. She wore me out. And the next morning, when I went to school, fourth grade, Miss Rainey, she said, Edna, do you know your poem? I said, yes, ma'am. And I stood up there and I said, tell me not in mournful numbers, life is but an empty dream. And I went on and on and on. She said, if you don't take those little hands off those little hips you have, you're going to be in trouble. And why am I telling you this? Because it took a lot of people to make me and to push me where I am today. And I have to give honor to people like Wesley Wallace Law, who led the civil rights movement. Mercedes Wright Arnold, I thought I was going to have her here today, because we're leaving for Atlanta. I got to go back and do the city's business. And then you had other people like Aaron Bushbaum, who worked to get us out of jail. I went to jail at Tybee for disrobing in public. Now, that meant that I took my dress off, and I had a swimsuit under it. But that's what I was arrested for. Why am I saying that? Because I do feel that young people today need to know from whence the city of Savannah has come, the diversity that has always been here in our city. If you look at the lines, and I know how much time do I have? 1 minute? Oh, okay. And I met his dad. We were working on something when I was mayor, and we became friends. I met people like Mike Traynor when he was the editor of the Morning News, and if I didn't like something, I could call and say, I don't like that. But he was so committed to us. He did a lot for Savannah State University. I would be remiss if I didn't, oh, my president is over here from Savannah State University. Where's your hand? Okay. But all in all, you see, it takes a village to raise all of us. None of us get to where we are. I am about service. That is what I was always been taught. And I'm really impressed for this recognition. I'm taking it to Atlanta today so I can show all of my people there the honor that I received, and I can say to John Burrs, that's why I wasn't in session this morning. But again, I say thank you. Thank you. And if you saw Shirley James, we were over there. If you see her, we are that there is one other, Juanita Adams. We are still the three amigos. And that is what friendship is all about. Thank you, y'all, and thank you to Southeastern Georgia Leadership Forum.